Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, Season 5, Episode 21. Maz, it was our first Premier League win for 7 weeks. We're dating back to November. Incredible scenes. Was me and you went, didn't see each other unfortunately. You were the complete other end of the Portland Road away end. But it was an enjoyable one. I'm so glad we finally got to see a win because it feels like it's been fucking ages. We beat a relegation threatened team for the first time in probably our history as a football club in the Premier League, because we don't do that around here, unfortunately. I wouldn't say they're scrappy goals, but they weren't pretty goals, but we got them, and I feel like in the past maybe we wouldn't have. So that was pleasant to see. Is this a new year for Brighton, Maz? 2025, win against Norwich, win against Ipswich. East Anglia is ours.
New year,
just
new
like
me.
the Vikings. New year, new us. Just like the Vikings, I was going to say something about that. Just like the Vikings, we've taken over East Anglia, and that's what Brighton have done. And it feels like a new year, Maz. We're beating relegation threatened teams. Is this a new year, new Brighton?
It has been a great week in East Anglia, Ben. You're very right. A good win against Norwich, and then a very decent away win against Ipswich as well. So, honestly, great result. It was one of those games where I thought we completely dominated possession pretty much 98% of the game. I thought they didn't have a sniff apart from two sort of chances that I'm sure we'll talk about. But yeah, I thought it was a controlled, performance. My only worry was at the time was like, are we going to be able to score? Like, are we going to make it count? But we did it. And like you said, maybe the first goal was a little bit scrappy. I thought the second goal was actually a really good finish. Now that I've seen it back a few times, Rutter's done really, really well there. But yeah, Ben, it could be a new dawn. Like you said, 7 games without a win in the Premier League, or eight games, I think it was. Got our first win in the FA Cup, which was great. And then we now followed it up with a great away result in the Premier League. And I think we're now only 4 points off Europe. So the dream's alive again, Ben.
We're back on. We're back on. Lump on, boys. We're going to Europe again next year. You heard it here first. But it was. It did feel a bit like a new Brighton, because watching that, I was thinking, obviously until we scored, I was thinking, this is 0-0. This is 0-0. We're going to dominate, deserve the win, but it's going to end 0-0. To get the goal that we did, that first goal, we'll probably get onto it a little bit more, but I just do want to actually quickly give flowers to a lot of players, because I can't figure out who my man of the match would be, but at first I was thinking Joel Veltman was just unbelievable again. I can't believe how cheap we got him. Every time I see him play, it's like, we bought that bloke for like 900k, and he delivers all the time, and he was so good. So good. Him and Carlos Blay were really, really good. Yeah. I mean, I can't really name anyone that had a bad game, to be honest. I mean, there are some quiet games that quiet people I do want to talk about, and we will talk about. But who is your man in the match? Because I think either Belabor or Veltman for me. Maybe I'll say Veltman. I just feel Veltman deserves that a little bit more.
Yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. I think it was Joel Veltman. He was unbelievable yesterday. He was so good. He's just Mr. Consistent. I know we've said it a few times on the pod, but he's just consistently decent. Do you know what I mean? And you got to give him his flowers. He was fantastic yesterday. That crunching tackle on Delap was one of the best things ever, because it was right by the away end. Which is
just after Delap had pushed over Van Heck as well. I think they were having a little bit of argy-bargy, so Veltman getting one on him was so good.
What was really pissing me off was, sorry, I'm sort of diverting here, but what really pissed me off was Delap. Every time, I don't know if you noticed, but every time he was going for the ball, he wasn't even looking at the ball. He'd be looking at the man to barge him or give him a bit of a little dig, and that was doing my. Oh, he got away with a lot. But yeah, when Veltman did that massive crunching tackle on him, that was unreal. The whole away end, loved it. Started singing his tune. And I just thought he did everything right. He did the basics right. He done his tracking back right. He just, everything you want from your right back, especially defensively. I thought he was really, really solid defensively. I don't think we gave him, like I said, apart from 2 sort of chances from their side, our defence was rock solid. So a big shout out to the back four. I thought everyone was fantastic. Even Estepinian was brilliant. Obviously, he has his couple of moments, but on the whole, really, really solid. Van Hecker. Webster was brilliant. I thought Webster was so good.
He done a mad tackle on Hutchinson as well. Completely cracked him when it looked like he was about to have a shot on goal. completely crushed him. That was a huge challenge. Celebrated that like
Huge
a goal.
tackle. So, I want to give Webster his flowers. He was brilliant, and I'm assuming it was a planned substitution at that point because he for me he would have stayed on the pitch. I wouldn't want to have disrupted that back four. So big shout out to the back four. And John Vutman for me was like the star in that back four. So really
it must have been nice for Webster to come back to Portland Road and put in a performance like that because obviously everyone knows the past few seasons at Brighton it hasn't been his best. What with injuries and being out of form, because we all know it takes him like 4 or 5 games before he gets up to scratch. But he came in against Arsenal. He had a really good cameo.
Do you know what he's like?
To start against his former club like that and perform like that as captain, I'm sure that was a great moment for him.
He's like Mariah Carey at Christmas. He needs time to defrost. You know what I mean?
He does. He needs a lot of time to defrost though. He needs a lot of time. But I think I was really happy for him to do that, and luckily when Dunk came on, didn't really upset the flow at all. Just slotted straight back in there.
That was one of my worries.
We pushed on,
but thankfully, it was just business as usual, and I think it did help that they really didn't offer much. Like I wasn't impressed with them at all, especially in the second half. First half, I thought they gave it some, and they created a bit, and we dominated possession, but at least they sort of showed a bit of spark. Whereas I thought second half we absolutely nullified them to the high heavens, and they just didn't really, offer much second half.
The people that didn't offer much as well was probably the Portland Road crowd. I feel like I thought they would have a really good atmosphere, but they were shocking. I looked at the clock when they first started making noise, and it was on the half an hour mark. I think it's when Delap maybe had a shot on goal as their first shot. Because you said, we would dominate that first half, but they probably had the better chances in a weird way. We didn't really do too much with ours. But they were absolutely awful. They was genuinely worse than the Amex at some points.
Mate, genuinely, I said this to the boys yesterday. I was like, they're meant to have this like quite electric, historical atmosphere sometimes, especially under the lights. Thursday evening under the lights, you expect them to give a bit more. But I don't mean this disrespectfully towards us, but I do, I suppose. But is it maybe because we're not one of the big top 6 and like when they come to Portman Road, that's the games they're up for as a newly promoted side? But you should argue that they shouldn't be like that. Every game should be the same. You should support your team in the same way, in the same manner. But is that a factor maybe? Is it because they see Brighton as a big team that they don't get up for? Do you know what I mean? So that could be a possible thing. Because I think you've seen at Brighton sometimes, when the big clubs come, we usually do generate a bit more atmosphere. Yeah, we turn up because we're like, Man City are here. Let's in the Man City game this season. Perfect example. Our fans turned up, and we actually, I know we ended up winning, but you need your fans to sort of give you that little extra bit. And I agree with you, Ben. I thought they were really quiet yesterday. They didn't really do anything. And then obviously when the check was going as well, that was great banner because obviously we had the fans in front of us, like just in front of us down.
Oh yeah, you did. We had Brighton fans in front of us because you were on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because at the end, Van Hecker gave some guy his shirt, and we were like, because in front of us they're all Ipswich fans, so we're all like, is he just giving his shirt to a random Ipswich fan who's like. And because he stuffed it in his jackets, we thought he was like this undercover Ipswich fan being a bit sneaky. But no, that makes a lot more sense. But in front of us there was Ipswich fans, and it was good to give them a little bit.
But it was quite hard to tell who was a Brighton fan and an Ipswich fan, even just outside the ground, because our blues are very similar colour. So when everyone had the blue and white scarves, it was just like, are you a Brighton fan or are you an Ipswich fan? But everyone that we walked past was pretty nice. I can't imagine Ipswich fans are too horrible.
I didn't feel very hostile vibes from Ipswich. It felt like quite family friendly. I didn't feel intimidated at any point.
I do want to give a shout out. Obviously, we spoke very briefly off air, but because you were the other side, maybe you didn't hear it. Did you not hear the Brighton fans singing "Oh Michael Van Gerwen" at any point?
No.
Really, fucking hell! I thought it was well loud. So we had on the behind the goal, there was an Ipswich fan that was absolute unit bald. And so we were giving him shit, the whole, so many, not just a pocket Brighton fans, so many Brighton fans were giving him shit. We were like, what's the score, MVG? And we were going, oh, Michael Van Gerwen. And we were like, get your tits out of that. So he pulled up his stomach, pulled up his shirt, and he was absolutely unit. And he kept doing this like that. He was such a good sport. So yeah, I do want to give him a shout out. If any Ipswich fans are watching and do know him, the big bald guy, he was really,
he might
really,
be
really
like
good
a
sport.
Cult favourite or fan, whatever you would call it. Like a
He might be.
But Ipswich
He was for me. He was for us, but yeah, he was so funny. And we kept going, "What's the score?" And he'd be like, he's crying, and he put his hood on and was going like this. He was very good. And then he'd done like the clap. We
were giving it to some guy with glasses, obviously calling him a specky C word, which. But just, you know what it is? Just quickly
That's
on this,
just
actually.
nasty. That's just nasty.
Oh, wait, sorry. So it's okay to call some bald guy Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, he chooses to be overweight and bald. Actually, no, he probably didn't choose to be bald, but the guy with the specs, that's not his choice.
No. Well, no, it's not.
Actually,
but anyway, let's get away from that whole fact.
Yeah.
But one thing I just want to quickly talk about, I do love how there's just no rules at away games. There is just no rules. It is just feral and carnage in that away end. Well, obviously, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think it was like a carnival-like atmosphere in the away end. I thought it was pretty, like, chilled, whatever. But I just love there's no rules when it comes to the away end. Like, you can say what you want. Obviously, to an extent, I don't ever condone homophobia, racism, all that jazz.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I think everyone listening probably thought you did condone it for a second.
No.
I'm joking.
Obviously,
Maz is a massive homophobe and racist, by the way. You can tell.
Yeah. If you didn't know already. No, but like there's levels in it. Like, there's obviously banter. Like, banter's I'm all for it. But like, you just feel like when you're an away fan, you feel like you can just be a bit more, thingy with it, naughty. And then just to be a bit, be a bit naughty. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it, Ben.
I absolutely love that away end. I think the Brighton fans are really up for it because it's a new stadium.
And the view's unreal
for God knows how long. Yeah, I do love away ends that are on the side of the pitch. It's just a nice change from being behind a goal all the time. That was good. I absolutely love Portman Road, like the floodlights. I was walking into the stadium with this kid called Ollie, and he was like, "That is pure floodlight porn." And I was like, "Didn't even know that was a thing," but it was. Just floodlights just make a huge difference when you can
just
see
quickly
them,
on the stadium, mate. It was unreal. Like, the way it was lit was sick, and it gave me proper old school. This is what football's all about. I was like walking into it, and even the turnstiles. Honestly, if I was even a little bit bigger, and I'm a tiny man, I was struggling through those turnstiles, mate. It was a proper old school turnstile, wasn't it? Like the old school block.
Yeah.
And I was just walking in the stadium. I was like, this is a proper football stadium. Like, your old school, where we possibly would have been going when we were in our League One Championship days. Like, it is. I did really like that stadium. I thought it was really, really nice.
I was sat towards the back, and they had like all the beams and stuff like that, because on my ticket I had like severe. I thought it was written on it as like severe restricted view. Yeah, but luckily I was alright. I think I'd gone in someone else's seat, as people do on away days. But yeah, no, it was really cool to be in that sort of environment. It's so dark as well where we were at the back. It did feel like a proper old school match. But it's a shout out Portman Road. I'd like them to stay up just so we can go again, because it's really easy to get to as well from London. It was only an hour from Liverpool Street.
Lovely, yeah. Getting back was like a dream.
5-minute walk from the stadium to the station. Unbelievable.
Mate, I got back at midnight, which is mental.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. But yeah, thanks Portman Road for that one. Hopefully you'll be staying up. In the first half, in terms of Brighton players, quiet. I mean, João Pedro was very quiet. There's a conversation I want to have about him definitely not being a striker now, because when we signed him, I was like, yeah, he can play up front. He can play as a 10. I don't know if he can be a 9 on his own now, unless he's got someone a little bit better behind him to link up with, because Matt O'Reilly was quiet, which we will get onto as well, apart from the assist, obviously. But yeah, João Pedro, mate, I just don't think he is a striker, which really screams that we do need another striker, because if Welbeck's got his injury record, and God knows what's happening with Evan Ferguson now, because maybe he'll be going on loan somewhere to West Ham potentially, with Potter now being there, who knows, but do you agree that we absolutely need a striker and João Pedro's not a number 9?
Yeah, I agree. I think he looked really isolated in the first half. I thought when he was getting the ball into him, he'd either like bounce off him, or he wouldn't be able to control it properly, and he had like two men on him. He doesn't work as that sole striker up top, and I think he needs that support from the people around him. And I think that's where you talk about O'Reilly. O'Reilly was playing in behind him, and I feel like he's then got to support him as much as he can and give him options, and be that guy to then maybe support him. And I don't feel like he did that again. Aside from maybe the second half, I just felt like it was a weird one with João Pedro. When you see him up top on his own, it just doesn't work, sadly. I think we definitely need a Welbeck sort of understudy.
We see João Pedro at his
Ferguson's
best when
been
he's
so
when
injured.
he's linking up with Rutter, or if he's linking up with Danny Welbeck. That's when he's kind of at his best, like sitting in behind
100%.
them and then them overlapping him.
Yeah. And his link-up play is so good, and that's what you want from him. I think that's what he's good at. You know, he's not an out-and-out number 9. He's not going to, you know, break the lines and, you know, necessarily. He likes to drop deep, pick up the ball and run at people. So I would want our number 9 to be like a Danny Welbeck or, someone who's fit.
Someone who's fit. Watching him yesterday, Liam Delap, I know he's way above us now because he's linked with a return to City and also linked with Chelsea. He would be unbelievable. Imagine him as a number 9. I didn't realise how athletic.
He's an absolute shit
he's great, but he's so agile. And I did not think that when I first saw him in the Prem, I thought he was just going to be like a big, bulky number 9, a bit like Harry Kane. But he's like Harry Kane, but with legs. He can run. He's very agile and quick, good at dribbling. He'd be phenomenal if we did get him. But yeah, that's completely out of our
I think
budget.
that ship has sailed.
Yeah, that ship has definitely
sadly.
sailed. But he's good.
But
yeah,
on Delap, just quickly, he's an absolute shithouse, and I don't like him. But he is a decent player. I didn't think he was at his best yesterday, though. Again, he didn't really get the service. In all honesty, I think that was more of an Ipswich team problem rather than a Delap problem. But yeah, I do like he didn't get much yesterday.
I do like their left back, Leif Davis. I think he's pretty decent. He's a nippy winger.
Really?
There's one point when he bombed it from like their half to our half, and then Joel Veltman got caught up with him eventually. But I think he looks impressive. He has it all season fair. I think he's been a good left back.
No, he's a good left back. There wasn't many standout players to me. I don't want to be disrespectful to Ipswich, but like I said, apart from those 2 moments in the first half, I just feel like they didn't do much at all. Like, we dominated possession. I remember looking at the clock at, I think it was around 13 minutes or 14 minutes. I know it's only the first 15 minutes of a game, but they hadn't touched the ball. I don't think they'd even got out their half. So I just think we dominated a lot of the possession. And again, it doesn't mean just because we dominate possession, it means we're the better side. Because like you said, I agree with you. In the first half, they created the better chances. Even though we dominated possession, they created the better chances. But I just felt like, especially second half, there wasn't one moment where I thought, oh my God, like, oh wow, we're in trouble here. There wasn't just one moment at all. And I thought we pretty much dominated that second half. And it was just a matter of time. For me, it was like all right, now we've got all this possession, we have to score. We can't go away from this game. If we lose this game or draw this game, it'll be a travesty because of how much we've dominated possession. So, yeah, I wasn't that impressed. But one player I just do want to talk about just quickly, and you talk about sort of disappointments or maybe not playing up to how, sort of as a fan, I'd want them to, was Simon Adingra. I just thought his tracking back was poor, man, especially in the first half. He was leaving his man a lot. And I don't know if that was Leif Davis or not, because obviously he was playing on the
it would have been Leif Davis,
yeah, he just wasn't tracking his man, and he was just giving Veltman so much more to do in that first half. And so I just think Adingra, and going forward he wasn't providing much either. So I don't want to dig him out too much. I just don't think we've said it all along. He can't play on the right for me. He doesn't, for some reason. I don't know what it is, but when he's on the right, he just doesn't. He can't be himself for some reason. So, I just think, in my opinion, Adingra's not that guy on the right-hand side.
Me and Jack and a few other boys were talking about him before the game, actually. He was like, whenever we're thinking he shouldn't be in the team, he shouldn't start, he then always pops up with a random goal out of nowhere or an assist, like when he scored against Villa. And you're thinking, maybe he should be, because some people say his output, maybe his output is better than Matoma, but what Matoma does, besides the goals and assists, is better than what Adingra can do. So
Well, I thought Matoma was brilliant yesterday. I know he got a goal, but aside from the goal, I thought he was really good. I thought the way he sort of stretched the game, took on his man, I thought he was a really big factor as to why we did so well. So, I'd say my argument to that would be Simon Adingra, like, he doesn't give you what Matoma does in terms of that being able to take the right back away, basically draw 3 men towards him and free up space. Because if you notice, it maybe not so much Ipswich last night, but usually teams will put 2 or 3 men on a Matoma, or they'll get attracted to him because he's so good on the ball, and that'll free up so much more space for the other players. Whereas I don't think Simon Adingra gives you that, respectfully. And I don't. Yesterday, especially defensively, he wasn't like getting back, and he looked like tired after like 20 minutes. And I was like, what's going on? He looked like he was just walking around, and I was like, what is happening here? So yeah, I wasn't too impressed. And maybe I'm just being hypercritical, but I wasn't too impressed with the Dinger yesterday. And I feel like maybe Minter could be the other, be an option instead.
Yeah, Minter was good when he came on. Yeah, I don't want to be too negative on some players because obviously we have won 2-0. But I do want to quickly say, obviously Matt O'Reilly had a great start to his Brighton career besides the horrific injury against Crawley. But he came on against City, he scored the winner. Since then, it seems he's been a bit quiet, and I don't know if it's just his demeanour or like the aura he has, but it doesn't seem like he has confidence too much. It doesn't seem like a very confident player at the moment for some reason. I'm not too sure what that is. It doesn't feel like he's up to speed in a Brighton shirt. And I mean, I feel like when Rutter started coming in the team, or when he got his first few games, he didn't seem like he was up to speed at all either. But now Rutter's like an absolute fan favourite and one of our best players this season. So I'm hoping that'll be the same for Matt O'Reilly. But do you feel the same with Matt O'Reilly? Because I thought he was pretty quiet again, despite the assist, obviously. Obviously, he got an assist, which is brilliant. But that was down to Ayari's good work and cut back. And yeah, I think that was a clever play for him, O'Reilly to then slot it to Matoma instead of shooting. But apart from that assist, which is obviously vital, did you think he had a quiet game again?
No, I agree. Especially first half, I thought he struggled at times to sort of get him with the flow of the game. But I think what you said, up to speed, I think that's a really important bit because I think that's what it is. I think I know he's now played quite a few minutes now, but I don't think he's had that consistency in that run of games where he can really embed himself. So hopefully, because there's been so much chop and change in that Brighton team, and I think that hasn't helped a lot of players because, imagine sort of having a couple of good games like Rutter, for example, Jorginho, having a couple of good games and then getting dropped. And then he's like, well, why have I been dropped? Like, what have I done to deserve that kind of thing? And then you get back into the team and you start playing well again. So, I just think, O'Reilly, I think, will benefit from having a consistent run of games and, like you said, getting up to speed with things and the way that Herzler likes to play, the system and the league. There's so many factors to why maybe he's not up to speed in our eyes. Obviously, the manager rates him because I think he started the last couple of games now in the Premier League. So, I think we need that consistent pairings of whether it's the three midfielder, whether it's Ayari, Baleba, O'Reilly, just be consistent with your middle three. And I think that will benefit everyone involved. If Baleba knows he's going to be next to Ayari and O'Reilly every game, he's going to be, okay, cool, I know what I need to do in my game. Ayari, exactly the same. And then O'Reilly, same. So I think, I don't want to make excuses for O'Reilly, and I think he's a brilliant, fantastic player because we've seen flashes of it. Man City, like you said, the assist yesterday. There's a player in there. I just think he needs a consistent run of games. And he was out for a while with that injury as well, like you mentioned, against Crawley. So, I just think it's give him a run of games, and then we can judge him at the end of the season if he's still not performing or giving those performances.
Yeah, after we did score, which, it was a good goal, and Ayari, super hot and cold, very cold in the first half, but I think in the second half he was really, really good again. Really it's funny, in a half time I was chatting to a lad called Ollie as well. We were saying he was so cold in that first half, but like he has been this season, hopefully in the second half he might be a little bit better because against Arsenal he was very, very good, and obviously it just chops and changes with him. Hopefully one day it will just be consistently really, really good. But I thought he'd done really well. Pounced on the mistake really from the Ipswich defender. And made a good pass to O'Reilly. But Yari, keep it up, mate, because there is 100% a player in there. And I think he will be very, very good for us. It just then begs the question, who then comes out? Because once Hinshelwood's fit, does he start again? And then this disrupts the whole, what we're asking for here is to have the same three in midfield or that sort of thing, which just doesn't seem like it's going to happen under Herzler because we have so many options in that midfield now.
Oh, mate, it's crazy. Even look at Diego Gomez.
Weaver's injured as well. Diego Gomez is... What is going on?
Honestly, it is crazy. And Weaver's been not disappointing. It's just been frustrating to see that, again, imagine he had a consistent run of games and could solidify his position in that midfield.
Which it looked like he was doing until he got injured again. He got the goal against West Ham. Right? It's really, really good against West Ham. Then he's injured and then not out of the team again.
It's so frustrating. Our injury record, I know we posted about it on Seagulls Social. By the way, if you don't follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Seagulls Social, get at it. What we posted was about the injury record. I think, was it 900 days?
Yeah.
it was insane. Like Spurs, I think, are second with 700 days out injured.
So yeah,
And then
days lost from injury in the Premier League 2024-25. So to put it into context, West Ham have had the least, so they've had just under 300 games, days lost from injuries. In second is Tottenham with 660, I want to say. And then with us, it's just over 900 in first.
It's insane.
Like the jump from second to first is outrageous. And I know that obviously comes a lot down to James Milner and Solly March, who have been out for an incredibly long time. But we have just lost.
Isn't that just 24-25 season though?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, which
so it's not even
mad.
Like, yeah, this is the mental thing for me. That's nearly 3 years worth of injuries. Well, if my maths is correct, or just under sort of 2 years. Just over 2 years, which is insane to have 2 years worth of injuries in one season,
like
and we're not even, and we're just over halfway. Yeah. Oh, it's actually insane. But yeah, that just shows. I don't know what it's down to. Is it? I saw some people like questioning what it could be down to. Is it the doctor? Like, is it the what's it called? The
club
department?
doctors, the medical
club
team.
doctors, medical team. That's it, medical department. Or is it just unlucky? Is it individual, people being injury prone a lot, which you could argue that is probably more the case, especially with like the Milners, the Welbecks, even Solly March, who's had a few injuries now. Webby and Dunkey have been injured quite a bit. Yeah, it's just been really unlucky. Just like the people that we don't want injured or need injured have become injured, and it doesn't help.
We did actually have a conversation about it because I was telling people. Well, Jack Albion actually showed me the graph first, which is why we posted it as a shout out, Jack. But he was saying, like, the medical when he's had a talk with Brian Owen from the Argus, Brian was saying how, like, how coy, maybe coy's maybe the wrong word, but under Hörsler, in terms of injuries and saying how far away players are, they really don't give too much away. So it's like some days they'll be like, oh, well, before Ferdy was announced that he was out for like the rest of the season, they're like, oh, he'll be out for a couple of weeks, and then literally like a few days later, oh no, he's out for the season now. Igor posted on the story being like, I'll see you in a few months, out for the season. So, and then I think Danny Welbeck was the same, as like, he might be in the team next week, but then he's not. And it's just, they're not giving anything away. And maybe it's the medical team that are telling Hörsler, and then Hörsler's just telling them what they're telling us what they're feeding him. Maybe the medical team don't know. Maybe they're not good enough at this point, because I can't really figure out what it is. I think this lad called Ash made a point saying it might be the Amex pitch that might be affecting it, which God knows if that's true. Like, I have no idea what to point the blame at, to be honest.
Not sure about that.
I can't remember.
I feel like
maybe I'm pretty sure he said that. If he didn't, sorry, Ash, if you are listening. But yeah, he might have said. I might have got that wrong. Yeah, I might have got that wrong. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think about what else it is. I mean, we lost our medical team. Was it Adam Brett, who'd been at the club for like, it feels like over a decade. Apparently, he's now at Spurs. Some lad told me, which is interesting. So we've got the new medical team.
They're second in the injury table, aren't they?
They're second in. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Yeah, they brought him in and they've dragged him down as well. So thanks for that, Brett. But the whole Adam Brett thing was when, do you remember Matoma was announced like with a long-term injury? Apparently, the story is, don't know if it's true or not, Adam Brett, the club doctor, told De Zerbi, don't play him because he's got this ongoing issue. Played him or Enciso trained, and then he was out. He's on crutches for 4 months or something like that. Or no, did he do his ACL? Did he Enciso? I can't remember what it was when he was out for ages.
I can't remember. I don't think it was ACL.
But something really, really long term. And then apparently they had a fallout, and that's when Alan Brett and stuff left. So this new medical team, if someone knows anything, that'd be great. You know what AFT done? AFTV got a lot of stick for doing an interview with a surgeon, didn't they? Or they had an interview with some doctor. I don't know if you saw that because of the whole Saka's injury stuff. They were getting cooked. They were like, Arsenal fans are on another planet, because they were literally sat in some surgeon's room interviewing him on AFTV. Yeah, it's like as if they're in an injury crisis. Good. But it would actually be interesting to hear from a doctor at some point being like why they think Premier League or injuries in football are so much more common now. I guess it could be fixture congestion, but we don't have elite level players that are playing. I guess that most of them are playing international as well, but as in they're not playing Europe and then international and then Premier League. Ours are only really playing international and Premier League and a few cup games here and there. So I don't know. It is weird, but the fact that we're that far ahead, I mean, if we needed a trophy for anything, that would be a great trophy. But to have over 900 is insane.
It's
And then
actually
second
insane,
is
yeah.
660. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, the gap
So
between
yeah,
us
we want
and
sympathy,
second.
please.
But also, just the wild thing, Ben, is the fact that like these injuries, they are so like obviously Welbeck, the timing of it. Then Ferguson, like your backup striker, then gets injured. Like it just feels so like comedic at times where the injuries just sort of stack up, and you're like, why me? Like why us? Why is this happening to us? And it's just frustration. But yeah, we just got to get on with it, and yeah, hopefully it will improve over time and something changes. Something well, imagine as well. Final thing on this: imagine we actually were in Europe. Like imagine the workload and the amount of games we'd have with this amount of injuries. We'd be cooked. We'd be so finished. I don't think we'd be able to even manage the two competitions in terms of Europe, playing in Europe and playing in the Premier League. So yeah, maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we didn't get back-to-back European campaigns.
Yeah, if the club are smart, I feel like we should pull the trigger on Kyle Walker-Peters. I think he's available for like 7 million, and just get him in Jan easy. Because if Ferdy's out for the rest of the season, we need some fullback cover because he can play left and right. So yeah, do that. And sometimes I'm pretty sure he played against a centre back against us at the Amex, and we all know how that went. But so he can play anywhere apparently, so that'd be good because we need a centre back now because City have signed that Palmeiras guy, which is really frustrating because I was really hoping to get him. But yeah. What should we go on to next? Christian Walton. Before the game, I thought, wow, this is going to be a guaranteed 10 out of 10 performance. Christian Walton probably got a grand total of 180 minutes for us. I remember he played against Wigan. I think he played in the Cup as well. He's at the club for what felt maybe like 8 years. I remember we signed him in Plymouth. I was at Cardinal Newman when we signed him. And I was like, oh my God, we've signed a wonder kid goalkeeper. This is incredible. Got a Sky Sports notification. This is insane. Never saw him on loan for a lot of the time. But he pulled off some amazing saves, including one from João Pedro where he nearly put us 2-0 up. The ball was going completely different direction. João Pedro chests it down, completely turns the other way. And yeah, Walton pulled off an unbelievable save, stopping it from going in the top corner. He was really good. Until there was one moment where he passed it out of play. His distribution was shocking, which we'll probably get onto, which is, again, why he probably never made it at Brighton, because he can't use his feet. He's your classic goalkeeper, big guy, can make big saves like we saw against João Pedro. But yeah, with his feet, he's awful. One point it goes out for a corner, and then we started singing Christian Walton, he's one of our own. I thought that was unbelievable. That was really so good. So yeah, shout out Christian Walton. It's good to see him playing in the Premier League. So fair play to him that he's actually playing at the highest
100%.
level now. But yeah, then we get a corner, and I'm thinking, well, we might as well have given them a goal kick because we are so shite from set pieces. It's a joke. When Hörsler came in, I'm pretty sure we were like, oh, he's known for having really good set pieces. St. Pauli have scored quite a few set pieces. Where are they?
That's gone well, yeah.
Where are they? Is it our fault? Because when I was talking to Jack about it, he was like,
are we the problem?
Is it the players that the issue? Because Jack thinks it's the players that the issue because the balls are getting put in good areas sometimes when it doesn't beat the first man. When we do beat the first man, sorry. But Jack's saying that it's like Dunks has a few chances, Van Heck has a few headers, but they usually get put over the bar. So do you think it's the set piece coach, or do you think it's our players that are just knackered from set pieces?
I really don't know, mate. Obviously, you look at the impact that Arsenal's set piece coach has had. I hate how involved he is, and obviously the whole mural thing and all that jazz. That's embarrassing. And the game's gone. The game's gone. But what you have noticed, though, with the set-piece coach that Arsenal have, they clearly are much better at it. Like, they have improved significantly from that. So, yeah, you could argue, is it like, I'm not saying we should bring in a set-piece coach, by the way, but is it a case of maybe designating some time? And I'm sure they do in training, like, obviously, they will have time designated to doing set pieces and, doing all that kind of drills and all that kind of stuff. But is it designating a bit more time to get better at it? I don't know, like, again, I don't know what goes on in Brighton training, but yeah, could that be a factor? Maybe they don't do it as much as, for example, in Arsenal, if you compare it to Arsenal, who have got designated coach, designated time to it, maybe in comparison, we're not doing anywhere near as much, and hence why we're not getting the output from set pieces. And then also as well, could you argue the delivery, like, the deliveries of set pieces? So was it usually, I think Ayari takes it, O'Reilly, on the other side,
Purvis as well sometimes.
Purvis sometimes. Could you look at the delivery? Could you look at the people putting the balls in the box? Are they not doing, the best they can? Or to be fair, yesterday from memory, it was all pretty good. But sometimes when you see players not beating their first man, it's like that is, you should be docked a week's wages. That is a shambles if you can't beat your first man from a corner. So yeah, I think there's various factors. And again, look, I'm not an expert. I'm not a football coach for a reason, but. It is frustrating not to be a bit more, threatening from set pieces. And I was looking sometimes as well.
Especially if you get so many, then it's just an unbelievable advantage to have, and you can create so many chances for it. And I guess we did score from one technically from that free kick from Ayari. I wouldn't count that though, even though it kind of was from, it was flicked on by Welbeck. It's a bit scrappy, but. I don't know. Would you count that as a set piece goal? I'm sure our set piece coach probably is. Just so take the hers out. We got one.
Oh, he goes, I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. I think, technically speaking, it does count. But I do agree with you. It didn't feel like a pure set piece. It's usually like when it's whipped in and someone heads it in, and you're like, that's a proper set piece. Goal from a corner or free kick or whatever. But I think it does need to be worked on. I would like us to be more threatening when it comes to set piece. At least for us to, as fans, be like, do you know what? There might be a chance. Whereas every time it's a set piece, I'm like, whatever. Can we just get the ball and start passing it about? Because we're better when we're in possession rather than from set pieces. So it is a bit frustrating, but hopefully something can be done about it. I don't know what. But
I think. In that second half, we were just very dominant and definitely deserved the win. When Rutter came on, it was a bit of a game changer. Him and Welbeck just looked.
Mate, I thought the three subs were brilliant. I thought
Minty was good when he came on.
Yeah, exactly. Donkey for Webster was obviously pre-planned, and that worked out really well because as soon as Donkey came on the pitch, he got on the ball so much straight away. They were passing between him, Van Heck, Estepinian. They were just popping it about and getting him involved, which was great because then it helped him get into the flow of the game. And then, Rutter was fantastic. I thought his hold-up play was brilliant. He's taking players on. Obviously, got his goal. Really good finish, actually, I thought. Watching it back at the time, I thought it was a bit scrappy, but watching it back, it was a great, great finish. And then, who was it? Minter, and I thought Minter done well as well when he came on. So, really good subs from me. And I thought it was great timing, great personnel. The people who brought it on was spot on. So, big shout out to Herzler because he's been coming under a bit of fire recently in the last 10 games. So I think we need to remember the good things he does and what he does do well, and maybe give him his flowers a little bit more.
No, for sure. And then I guess unless there's anything else you want to talk about in the game, I thought the full-time scenes were great as well.
Really good,
But Rutter with the phone, I think, and also the post-match interview. I think all the Brighton fans going, "Oh,
that was so
the whole
good,
time." That was really good. He also went behind, but just before you could see the red light go on the camera when they were filming it, he done this with his hand, telling us to go up, cheering us on. Yeah, it was really, really good. Then it was Johnny with the phone. Yeah, what an absolute hero. Absolutely loved it.
Just quickly, shout out to Verbruggen. I thought he made two fantastic saves, one from Broadhead, one from Amari Hutchinson. The Broadhead one was unreal. From the angle we were sat, like you said, because we were in the middle, it literally looked like it was going bottom corner. And then Verbruggen just popped out of nowhere, and what a save it was. So, big shout out to Verbruggen. I thought two really huge saves. Because imagine that, first half, you go 2-0 down just because of two moments of brilliance from their players. But Verbruggen made sure that it didn't happen. I think the Broadhead one was a way better save, but for the Hutchinson one, I thought he still had to do really well to get down and made a good save. So, shout out to Verbruggen. Two really, really good saves, and he was pretty solid all game.
I'm also glad he got a clean sheet because literally right before the FPL deadline in my draft, I subbed Raya out and put Verbruggen in goal because I thought got more chance of getting a clean sheet, and he got me some points there. So cheers for that, Bart. I feel like Yakimoda probably got his last hurrah as well. I thought it was against Norwich, but he still hasn't left yet. It looks like he's going to be going to the Eredivisie. I can't remember if it was at Feyenoord or... I think it's Feyenoord he's going to, pretty sure. Which, I think would be a good... Probably his level, to be honest. It's a shame he never really made it at Brighton, but when he was coming on, we were obviously singing his song. So, luckily, I hope that is his last hurrah. And, appreciate his service. Obviously, a devastating injury that he got against Norwich, although he did well a few years ago, or a couple of years ago. Just sad that he never really made it because there was definitely a player there at times.
Yeah, like you said, it's sad. I think it's a really sad situation because when he came to us, he was linked with Bayern Munich. He was meant to be the next wonder kid. Everyone was talking. I think he got included in the top 20 young players to look out for list.
I do.
Or
I think
something
no,
like
that was
Yeah.
Karbovnik. That was the fullback. That was.
Oh, was it
like
Karbovnik?
the
Oh,
golden
okay.
boy
Oh,
thing, yeah.
okay.
God
Right,
knows
fair,
where he is
fair,
now.
fair. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
Is
It's
your
just a shame
phone
that-
on your computer, by the way? Is it?
No, there is a
Oh, just-
phone, right? But not my
I
phone.
was just getting feedback sometimes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but just to round up, it's a shame because he was touted to be his next big thing, and like you said, his injury absolutely killed him, and he just hasn't looked the same player since he came back. He just looks sometimes a bit lost. I don't want to dig the guy out, but it just sometimes when he comes on, and also to be fair, to having come on, he comes on a lot in games, so like you can't really stamp your authority from the beginning, and have again talk about running games, talking about consistency, giving them game time to build up that confidence and that ability to play to your full ability. Yeah, he just hasn't had that chance, and maybe rightly so. Maybe he's not shown enough in training, and when he does come on, he hasn't exactly set the world alight. But I wish him all the best, and hopefully he can, when he leaves and goes to wherever, he can hopefully maybe get that form back and get that confidence back and become a good player.
Yeah, same. Good luck to you, buddy, and cheers for an unbelievable song.
start learning Arabic, buddy.
God, that'd be good for him. We had some peas over there. If people are wondering where Michael Karbovnik is, he is at Hertha BSC. It's not Hertha Berlin, is it? Hertha BSC.
Yeah.
No, it is Hertha. Yeah, it's Hertha Berlin.
Yeah,
I
Hertha
don't know why I
Berlin,
just called
yeah,
it Hertha Berlin. But they're in the second division of Bundesliga, aren't they? They're not
wow.
They're actually not in the first division. But anyway, he's only 21, so there's still time for him to get good. But that's as much as I've got really from that game. Shout out Ipswich. That's a good night. It's good to see the boys win.
Yeah, great away day.
Great away day. It's good to tick that ground off. I think a lot of people completed their. I saw Mike King and Ethan completed their 20 out of 20 away days, which is quite cool. I think. Oh, when I speak to Jack, he's only got 8 more teams in the 92 that he needs to go to, which is insane. Yeah, he was showing me that Footballology app, and I think there's a person that had been to 8. He's been to 8,000 games. Oh, no, is it 8,000 games or 8,000 stadiums? No, 8,000 games he's been to maybe. And to put it in perspective, I think Jack's been to 2.3. So if we think Jack's mental, there's a German bloke that's been to 8,000.
But also as well, can you not just make that shit up?
You can. I
went to bloody Greenwich versus Greenock the other day, and do you know what I mean? You can make shit up.
You can make it up on the app, but
It's yourself. Yeah,
surely you're
it's
not.
an app done by you. Yeah.
Surely you're not.
Anyway, fair play.
Anyway,
It's a lot of football.
yeah, that was fun. Good stadium. Nothing else to really
Good day at
report
the
from that
office.
game. Hopefully 2025 will be a much better year, and we will be kicking on because we've started it well, getting that, like we said at the beginning, beating a relegation threatened team. It's not something we used to do, and scoring those sorts of goals is not something we used to do. So hopefully we're turning a leaf. And January
Back away games as well, Ben. Man United
back
next.
away games. I think after looking at them, hopefully we'll do a preview this week. After looking at how they played against Southampton, they were getting opened up by Southampton a lot. And hopefully we'll be able to do the same if we got Minter run, because that is it Sulemaka, the winger for Southampton.
Sulemana?
Sulemana. Yeah. Anyway, their winger, I think he might be number 11, plays on the left. He was rapid. I saw the highlights this morning.
Yeah.
Sulemana. Completely tore them apart. If we can get Minter and Matoma on either side doing that, I think we've got a chance. Because when I saw them against Arsenal, I'd look pretty solid. So I was quite worried. We're thinking, oh God, are we going to Old Trafford when they're finally finding form? But it looks like they're not. As long as we can lock up Diallo, because he scored a hat trick. But
he's had some week, hasn't he?
We'll do
a preview.
talk. Yeah, we'll do a preview and talk more about that. But yeah, roll on Old Trafford, Maz. Roll on Old Trafford.
Yes. Big up.
Like, subscribe, listen on
all that
Spotify and
jazz.
Apple. Leave the reviews and all that nonsense. Comment down below saying Christian Walton is one of our own. That'd be a good one. And then, we'll see you for the Man United preview. Peace.